Today, we are going to tell you everything that we know about Andor, the Star Wars prequel. Disney is continuing its production of new Star Wars content with no less than 3 more shows premiering in 2022 and more coming out in 2023. In the next series, Andor will reveal many things that we are waiting to find out, so join us to get started. When is the release date? Like all the upcoming Star Wars series, Andor will be available exclusively on Disney+, which is fortunate as Disney Plus has been expanding to many other countries. Currently, there are 34 countries with access to Disney Plus, but for those who do not have access, there are still some options. For projects such as Ms. Marvel, Disney has utilized movie theaters to show a number of episodes of the series at a time. While there has been no such announcement for Andor, fans might get this option depending on Disney's plans. The release date was previously set for August 31st, 2022, but was ultimately pushed back nearly a month to September 21st, 2022, and will launch with 3 episodes. It also looks like Andor will be following the typical Disney Plus release structure of a new episode released every week. This will be the longest series out of the live-action Star Wars shows with a total of 12 episodes in the first season. So get ready to watch for each Wednesday from September 21st to November 23rd. What is Andor's plot? The series follows the adventures of rebel spy Cassian Andor during the formative years of the rebellion and prior to the events of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Diego Luna will reprise the role of Andor. Going back to the Star Wars universe is very special for me. I have so many memories of the great work we did together and the relationships I made throughout the journey. We have a fantastic adventure ahead of us, and this new exciting format will give us the chance to explore this character more deeply, said Luna. The rousing spy thriller will explore tales filled with espionage and daring missions to restore hope to a galaxy in the grip of a ruthless empire. Cassian Andor is the breakout character from Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Introduced as one of the Alliance's more ruthless spies, his belief in its mission to end Imperial oppression leads him not only to sign up with Jyn Erso's plan to raid Scarif and retrieve the Death Star plans, but face the end of his life to ensure the data gets off the planet and into the hands of the rebels. At Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2022, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy referenced his bravery when she introduced the cast and producers of the upcoming series. I think what's remarkable is the sacrifice that Cassian Andor makes for the galaxy, and I'm going to add to that the way Diego Luna plays him, she said when asked why the company chose to return to the character. Indeed, Luna's charm is another good reason to spend more time with the character in Andor, but considering his status as a rebel spy, we've built our own dossier on the series, complete with quotes from some of the cast and producers to get a better handle on who he is before his mission begins and potentially what it means to focus on a character whose last moments have already been written. Forming the first half of a 24-part novel for television, the first 12-episode season of Andor will tell the tale of Cassian Andor's shift from migrant refugee to revolutionary. As creator and showrunner Tony Gilroy explained at Celebration, those first 12 episodes will take us 1 year closer to his Rogue One fate. The second season will take the story over the next 4 years. He subsequently added that the overall story will give scenes in Rogue One a deeper significance. The starting point for the series also means that Cassian's lovable, if blunt droid, K2SO, will be missing from the first season. This is a slight change from where the program was in 2019. At that year's Star Wars Celebration, Tudyk appeared on stage to talk up the program, but as it developed, the pair's first meeting shifted to the second season. Gilroy eventually said moving their meeting to a later part in the series happened for multiple story reasons. The series will also focus on Mon Mothma, the enigmatic rebel leader introduced in Return of the Jedi, who went on to lead the New Republic in the expanded universe novels and games that were set after the film. In the early 2000s, Genevieve O'Reilly was cast as a younger Mon Mothma for a scene in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, meant to establish the earliest form of the Rebel Alliance, but it was cut. Nevertheless, the actor returned as the character in Rogue One and voiced her in Star Wars Rebels. She returns once again in Andor as almost a parallel story to Cassian's through the first season. In fact, although their tales cross, they will not meet during the initial 12 episodes. Instead, she is still on Coruscant, attempting to build an opposition while in a galactic senate under the electric thumb of Emperor Sheev Palpatine. As she puts it in the recent trailer, she feigns to be an irritant to mask her true goals, and her efforts there will make her a key part of the events leading up to the Death Star's destruction. It's such a gift to come back to this role. As actors, we join something for a series or a play. You invest in a character for maybe 3 years if you're lucky. I played this woman nearly 17 years ago, and to come back and investigate her now with Tony's writing and alongside Diego Luna, I feel so lucky, O'Reilly said during the celebration presentation. The series will also lend some time to the Empire. Gilroy subsequently told reporters at the summer 2022 Television Critics Association press tour that the pair are tasked with quelling any possible rebellion. Of course, with that pressure heating up, these agents may be off their footing. It's pretty complicated to be in the Empire in this period of time, and that's a really interesting thing to explore, Gilroy said about depicting Imperial oppression at Celebration. During the TCA event, he further amplified how the Imperials fit into Andor. As dark as the characters are, it's also a work environment. They compete, they are careerists, they are vulnerable, they are complicated. It's interesting to see this angle on these very dark characters. As Tony is saying, you'll see them and they brush their teeth too. It is quite unique to visit this universe with this amount of attention to detail and intimacy, Luna added. Since the series takes place 5 years prior to both Rogue One and the original Star Wars, the look and feel of the galaxy will be familiar. It is a dark time across the stars, and even as the Empire builds pristine fortresses and factories, it is a grimy, sweaty time. And that look is faithfully replicated in the stills and trailers Lucasfilm and Disney have released so far. After all, Disney's official Andor description offers an overview of the upcoming series. The Andor series will explore a new perspective from the Star Wars galaxy, focusing on Cassian Andor's journey to discover the difference he can make. The series brings forward the tale of the burgeoning rebellion against the Empire and how people and planets become involved. It's an era filled with danger, deception, and intrigue, where Cassian will embark on the path that is destined to turn him into a rebel hero. So what do you watch before Andor? Well, according to everything we know about the upcoming series, there is a little guide list of movies and TV shows to watch in order to understand Andor. First of all, it's Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which is by far the most important film to watch as it features Cassian Andor as one of the main characters. There are also hints that other characters from this movie will appear in Andor. According to Tony Gilroy, you can go into Andor blind should you wish. As it takes place 5 years before Rogue One, you don't need to necessarily know his future before watching it. However, knowing the full context of Cassian's story will no doubt add an extra layer of depth to watching this new series. If you are a complete newbie to the Star Wars universe, then A New Hope is a must-see to further understand how the Empire has grown and dominated its reach over the Rebel Alliance. It may also be helpful to watch Revenge of the Sith, which in the Star Wars timeline happens before Andor starts. The animated shows The Clone Wars and Rebels are also on this list because of Mon Mothma. She appears in seasons 3 and 4 of Rebels and these episodes in The Clone Wars. Now, The Clone Wars is set before Andor, so there may be some useful information for her backstory to take note of. Meanwhile, Rebels takes place around the same time as Andor, so there may be some crossover events in both series. So, what do you think about Andor? Do you think it's going to be a successful prequel? Let us know in the comments down below.